Welcome to BrewFix, where coffee meets craftsmanship. And if your espresso machine suddenly stops heating, your coffee routine can come to a complete halt, leaving you with cold water instead of hot espresso. But the good news is that most heating problems come from a few key components and can often be diagnosed logically once you understand how the heating system inside an espresso machine actually works. Inside nearly every espresso machine, there is a boiler or thermoblock that heats water to the temperature required for brewing and steaming. And inside that boiler sits a heating element that converts electrical energy into heat, while thermostat, temperature sensor, or PID controller monitors the temperature and tells the heating element when to switch on and off, creating a stable heating cycle that keeps water at the right brewing temperature. But if any part of this chain fails, the power supply, heating element, thermostat, wiring, safety fuse, or control board, the machine may appear to turn on normally while the boiler never heats, which is why diagnosing the problem step by step is essential instead of randomly replacing parts. The first place to start is always with the simplest possibility, checking whether the machine is actually receiving electricity, because sometimes the issue is as basic as a faulty outlet, a tripped breaker, a damaged power cable, or a malfunctioning power switch that prevents electricity from reaching the heating system. And many machines also include thermal safety fuses designed to shut down the heating circuit if the machine overheats, meaning the machine may power on, but the boiler will never heat if the fuse is tripped. If the power supply is working correctly, the next component to examine is the heating element itself, since this is one of the most common causes of heating failure, as heating elements sit directly inside the boiler and are constantly exposed to heat, pressure, and mineral deposits from water, and over time scale buildup, corrosion, or electrical fatigue can cause the element to burn out completely, preventing it from producing heat, which can often be confirmed using a multimeter to measure electrical resistance across the element terminals, because a functioning heating element will show measurable resistance while a failed one typically shows an open circuit. However, even if the heating element is still intact, the machine may still refuse to heat if the thermostat or temperature sensor is malfunctioning, because these components act as the control mechanism that tells the heating element when to activate. And if a thermostat becomes stuck open or a sensor sends incorrect signals, the heating element will never receive power even though it is still capable of heating. A problem that can often be diagnosed by checking electrical continuity or verifying whether voltage is reaching the heating element when the machine is turned on. Another hidden cause of heating issues is mineral scale buildup inside the boiler, particularly in areas with hard water, because calcium deposits can accumulate around the heating element and boiler walls, acting like insulation that prevents heat from transferring efficiently to the water and sometimes causing overheating protection systems to shut the machine down, meaning the machine might technically be heating, but the heat cannot reach the water effectively, which is why regular descaling is essential for maintaining proper heating performance. In some modern espresso machines, the heating system is also managed by an electronic control board that regulates temperature sensors and power delivery to the heating element. And if this board fails, it may stop sending electricity to the heating circuit entirely, even when every other component appears to be working correctly, which can usually be identified by testing whether voltage reaches the heating element when the machine is powered on. Once you understand how these components interact, power supply, heating element, thermostat, sensors, boiler, and control electronics, diagnosing a machine that will not heat becomes much less mysterious and far more methodical. Because instead of guessing, you can follow the heating system step by step, identify the real cause of the failure, and repair the machine efficiently, which is exactly the kind of practical knowledge we focus on here at BrewFix to help baristas, coffee enthusiasts, and technicians understand their machines better, troubleshoot problems with confidence, and keep their coffee machines running reliably so every morning starts with properly brewed espresso instead of cold disappointment.